Ecuador, CUR, Ecuador or Ecuador, officially the Republic of Ecuador, which literally translates as Republic of the Equator, CUR, Ecuador Nunca, is a country in northwestern South America, bordered by Colombia on the north, Peru on the east and south, and the Pacific Ocean on the west. Ecuador also includes the Galapagos Islands in the Pacific, about west of the mainland. The capital city is Quito, which is also the largest city. What is now Ecuador was home to a variety of Amerindian groups that were gradually incorporated into the Inca Empire during the 15th century. The territory was colonized by Spain during the 16th century, achieving independence in 1820 as part of Gran Colombia, from which it emerged as its own sovereign state in 1830. The legacy of both empires is reflected in Ecuador's ethnically diverse population, with most of its million people being mestizos, followed by large minorities of European, Amerindian, and African descendants. Spanish is the official language and is spoken by a majority of the population, though 13 Amerindian languages are also recognized, including Quichua and Shuar. The sovereign state of Ecuador is a middle-income representative democratic republic with a developing economy that is highly dependent on commodities, namely petroleum and agricultural products. It is governed as a democratic presidential republic. One of 18 megadiverse countries in the world, Ecuador hosts many endemic plants and animals, such as those of the Galapagos Islands. In recognition of its unique ecological heritage, the new Constitution of 2008 is the first in the world to recognize legally enforceable rights of nature, or ecosystem rights. It also has the fifth lowest homicide rate in the Americas. Between 2006 and 2016, poverty decreased from 36.7% to 22.5%, and annual per capita GDP growth was 1.5% as compared to 0.6% over the prior 2 decades. At the same time, inequalities, as measured by the Gini index, decreased from 0.55 to 0.47.
History pre-Inca.
Various peoples had settled in the area of the future Ecuador before the arrival of the Incas. The archaeological evidence suggests that the Paleo-Indians' first dispersal into the Americas occurred near the end of the last glacial period, around 16,500 to 13,000 years ago. The first Indians who reached Ecuador may have journeyed by land from North and Central America or by boat down the Pacific Ocean coastline. Much later migrations to Ecuador may have come via the Amazon tributaries, others descended from northern South America, and others ascended from the southern part of South America through the Andes. They developed different languages while emerging as unique ethnic groups. Even though their languages were unrelated, these groups developed similar groups of cultures, each based in different environments. The people of the coast developed a fishing, hunting, and gathering culture. The people of the highland Andes developed a sedentary agricultural way of life, and the people of the Amazon Basin developed a nomadic hunting and gathering mode of existence. Over time these groups began to interact and intermingle with each other so that groups of families in one area became one community or tribe, with a similar language and culture. Many civilizations arose in Ecuador, such as the Valdivia culture and Macaylila culture on the coast, the Quitus near present-day Quito, and the Canary near present-day Cuenca. Each civilization developed its own distinctive architecture, pottery, and religious interests. In the highland Andes Mountains, where life was more sedentary, groups of tribes cooperated and formed villages. Thus the First Nations based on agricultural resources and the domestication of animals formed. Eventually, through wars and marriage alliances of their leaders, a group of nations formed confederations. One region consolidated under a confederation called the Shiras, which exercised organized trading and bartering between the different regions. Its political and military power came under the rule of the Duquesne bloodline.
Inquira.
When the Incas arrived, they found that these confederations were so developed that it took the Incas 2 generations of rulers, Tapu Inca Yupanqui and Huayna Capac, to absorb them into the Inca Empire. The native confederations that gave them the most problems were deported to distant areas of Peru, Bolivia, and North Argentina. Similarly, a number of loyal Inca subjects from Peru and Bolivia were brought to Ecuador to prevent rebellion. Thus, the region of highland Ecuador became part of the Inca Empire in 1463, sharing the same language. In contrast, when the Incas made incursions into coastal Ecuador and the eastern Amazon jungles of Ecuador, they found both the environment and indigenous people more hostile. Moreover, when the Incas tried to subdue them, these indigenous people withdrew to the interior and resorted to guerrilla tactics. As a result, Inca expansion into the Amazon basin and the Pacific coast of Ecuador was hampered. The indigenous people of the Amazon jungle and coastal Ecuador remained relatively autonomous until the Spanish soldiers and missionaries arrived in force. The Amazonian people and the Chiapas of coastal Ecuador were the only groups to resist Inca and Spanish domination, maintaining their language and culture well into the 21st century. Before the arrival of the Spaniards, the Inca Empire was involved in a civil war. The untimely death of both the Hernan Kuchi and the Emperor Huayna Capac, from a European disease that spread into Ecuador, created a power vacuum between 2 factions. The northern faction headed by Atahualpa claimed that Huayna Capac gave a verbal decree before his death about how the empire should be divided. He gave the territories pertaining to present-day Ecuador and northern Peru to his favorite son Atahualpa, who was to rule from Quito, and he gave the rest to Huascar, who was to rule from Cuzco. He willed that his heart be buried in Quito, his favorite city, and the rest of his body be buried with his ancestors in Cuzco. Huascar did not recognize his father's will, since it did not follow Inca traditions of naming an Inca through the priests. Huascar ordered Atahualpa to attend their father's burial in Cuzco and pay homage to him as the new Inca ruler. Atahualpa, with a large number of his father's veteran soldiers, decided to ignore Huascar, and a civil war ensued. A number of bloody battles took place until finally Huascar was captured. Atahualpa marched south to Cuzco and massacred the royal family associated with his brother. A small band of Spaniards headed by Francisco Pizarro landed in Tumbes and marched over the Andes Mountains until they reached Cajamarca, where the new Inca Atahualpa was to hold an interview with them. Valverde, the priest, tried to convince Atahualpa that he should join the Catholic Church and declare himself a vassal of Spain. This infuriated Atahualpa so much that he threw the Bible to the ground. At this point the enraged Spaniards, with orders from Valverde, attacked and massacred unarmed escorts of the Inca and captured Atahualpa. Pizarro promised to release Atahualpa if he made good his promise of filling a room full of gold. But, after a mock trial, the Spaniards executed Atahualpa by strangulation.
Spanish rule.
New infectious diseases, endemic to the Europeans, caused high fatalities among the Amerindian population during the first decades of Spanish rule, as they had no immunity. At the same time, the natives were forced into the encomienda labor system for the Spanish. In 1563, Quito became the seat of a Real Audiencia administrative district of Spain and part of the Viceroyalty of Peru and later the Viceroyalty of New Granada. After nearly 300 years of Spanish rule, Quito was still a small city numbering 10,000 inhabitants. On August 10, 1809, the city's criollos called for independence from Spain, first among the peoples of Latin America. They were led by Juan Pío Montúfar, Quiroga, Salinas, and Bishop Quiero y Quevedo. Quito's nickname, used America Light of America, is based on its leading role in trying to secure an independent, local government. Although the new government lasted no more than 2 months, it had important repercussions and was an inspiration for the independence movement of the rest of Spanish America. August 10th is now celebrated as Independence Day, a national holiday.
Independence.
On October 9, 1820, Guayaquil became the first city in Ecuador to gain its independence from Spain. Its inhabitants celebrated what is now Ecuador's official Independence Day on May 24, 1822. The rest of Ecuador gained its independence after Antonio José de Sucre defeated the Spanish royalist forces at the Battle of Pichincha, near Quito. Following the battle, Ecuador joined Simón Bolívar's Republic of Gran Colombia, also including modern-day Colombia, Venezuela and Panama. In 1830 Ecuador separated from Gran Colombia and became an independent republic. The 19th century was marked by instability for Ecuador with a rapid succession of rulers. The first president of Ecuador was the Venezuelan-born Juan José Flores, who was ultimately deposed, followed by several authoritarian leaders, such as Vicente Roca Fuerte, José Joaquín de Olmedo, José María Urbina, Diego Noboa, Pedro José de Arteta, Manuel de Escazabal, and Flores' own son, Antonio Flores Jijón, among others. The conservative Gabriel García Moreno unified the country in the 1860s with the support of the Roman Catholic Church. In the late 19th century, world demand for cocoa tied the economy to commodity exports and led to migrations from the highlands to the agricultural frontier on the coast. Ecuador abolished slavery and freed its black slaves in 1851.
Liberal Revolution.
The Liberal Revolution of 1895 under Eloy Alfaro reduced the power of the clergy and the conservative landowners. This liberal wing retained power until the military Julian Revolution of 1925. The 1930s and 1940s were marked by instability and emergence of populist politicians, such as 5-time President José María Velasco Ibarra.
Loss of claimed territory since 1830. President Juan José Flores de jure territorial claims.
Since Ecuador's separation from Colombia in May 13, 1830, its first president, General Juan José Flores, laid claim to the territory that was called the Real Audiencia of Quito, also referred to as the Presidencia of Quito. He supported his claims with Spanish royal decrees or real cedulas, that delineated the borders of Spain's former overseas colonies. In the case of Ecuador, Flores based Ecuador's de jure claims on the following cedulas: Real Cedula of 1563, 1739, and 1740. With modifications in the Amazon Basin and Andes Mountains that were introduced through the Treaty of Guayaquil 1829, which Peru reluctantly signed, after the overwhelmingly outnumbered Gran Colombian force led by Antonio José de Sucre defeated President and General Lamar's Peruvian invasion force in the Battle of Tarqui. In addition, Ecuador's eastern border with the Portuguese colony of Brazil in the Amazon Basin was modified before the Wars of Independence by the First Treaty of San Ildefonso 1777 between the Spanish Empire and the Portuguese Empire. Moreover, to add legitimacy to his claims, on February 16, 1840, Flores signed a treaty with Spain, whereby Flores convinced Spain to officially recognize Ecuadorian independence and its sole rights to colonial titles over Spain's former colonial territory known anciently to Spain as the Kingdom and Presidency of Quito. Ecuador during its long and turbulent history has lost most of its contested territories to each of its more powerful neighbors, such as Colombia in 1832 and 1916, Brazil in 1904 through a series of peaceful treaties, and Peru after a short war in which the Protocol of Rio de Janeiro was signed in 1942.
Struggle for independence.
During the struggle for independence, before Peru or Ecuador became independent nations, a few areas of the former Viceroyalty of New Granada, Guayaquil, Tumbes, and Jaén, declared themselves independent from Spain. A few months later, a part of the Peruvian Liberation Army of San Martin decided to occupy the independent cities of Tumbes and Jin with the intention of using these towns as springboards to occupy the independent city of Guayaquil and then to liberate the rest of the Audiencia de Quito, Ecuador. It was common knowledge among the top officers of the Liberation Army from the south that their leader San Martin wished to liberate present-day Ecuador and add it to the future Republic of Peru, since it had been part of the Inca Empire before the Spaniards conquered it. However, Bolivar's intention was to form a new republic known as the Gran Colombia, out of the liberated Spanish territory of New Granada, which consisted of Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. San Martin's plans were thwarted when Bolivar, with the help of Marshal Antonio José de Sucre and the Gran Colombian Liberation Force, descended from the Andes Mountains and occupied Guayaquil. They also annexed the newly liberated Audiencia de Quito to the Republic of Gran Colombia. This happened a few days before San Martin's Peruvian forces could arrive and occupy Guayaquil, with the intention of annexing Guayaquil to the rest of Audiencia of Quito, Ecuador, and to the future Republic of Peru. Historic documents repeatedly stated that San Martin told Bolivar he came to Guayaquil to liberate the land of the Incas from Spain. Bolivar countered by sending a message from Guayaquil welcoming San Martin and his troops to Colombian soil.
Peruvian occupation of Jaén, Tumbes, and Guayaquil.
In the south, Ecuador had de jure claims to a small piece of land beside the Pacific Ocean known as Tumbes, which lay between the Zarumilla and Tumbes rivers. In Ecuador's southern Andes mountain region where the Marañón cuts across, Ecuador had de jure claims to an area it called Jaén de Bracamoras. These areas were included as part of the territory of Gran Colombia by Bolivar on December 17, 1819. During the Congress of Angostura, when the Republic of Gran Colombia was created. Tumbes declared itself independent from Spain on January 17, 1821, and Jaén de Bracamoras on June 17, 1821, without any outside help from revolutionary armies. However, that same year, 1821, Peruvian forces participating in the Trujillo Revolution occupied both Jaén and Tumbes. Some Peruvian generals, without any legal titles backing them up and with Ecuador still federated with the Gran Colombia, had the desire to annex Ecuador to the Republic of Peru at the expense of the Gran Colombia, feeling that Ecuador was once part of the Inca Empire. On July 28, 1821, Peruvian independence was proclaimed in Lima by the liberator San Martin, and Tumbes and Jaén, which were included as part of the revolution of Trujillo by the Peruvian occupying force, had the whole region swear allegiance to the new Peruvian flag and incorporated itself into Peru, even though Peru was not completely liberated from Spain. After Peru was completely liberated from Spain by the patriot armies led by Bolivar and Antonio José de Sucre at the Battle of Ayacucho dated December 9, 1824, there was a strong desire by some Peruvians to resurrect the Inca Empire and to include Bolivia and Ecuador. One of these Peruvian generals was the Ecuadorian-born José de la Mar, who became one of Press presidents after Bolivar resigned as dictator of Peru and returned to Colombia. Gran Colombia had always protested Peru for the return of Jaén and Tumbes for almost a decade. Then finally Bolivar, after long and futile discussion over the return of Jaén, Tumbes, and part of Maynas, declared war. President and General José de la Mar, who was born in Ecuador, believing his opportunity had come to annex the District of Ecuador to Peru, personally, with a Peruvian force, invaded and occupied Guayaquil and a few cities in the Loja region of southern Ecuador on November 28, 1828. The war ended when a triumphant, heavily outnumbered southern Gran Colombian army at Battle of Tarqui dated February 27, 1829, led by Antonio José de Sucre, defeated the Peruvian invasion force led by President Lamarche. This defeat led to the signing of the Treaty of Guayaquil dated September 22, 1829, whereby Peru and its Congress recognized Gran Colombian rights over Tumbes, Jaén, and Maynas. Through protocolized meetings between representatives of Peru and Gran Colombia, the border was set as Tumbes River in the west, and in the east the Marañón and Amazon rivers were to be followed toward Brazil as the most natural borders between them. However, What was pending was whether the new border around the Jin region should follow the Chinchipe River or the Huancabamba River. According to the peace negotiations, Peru agreed to return Guayaquil, Tumbes, and Jin. Despite this, Peru returned Guayaquil, but failed to return Tumbes and Jin, alleging that it was not obligated to follow the agreements, since the Gran Colombia ceased to exist when it divided itself into three different nations, Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela.
The dissolution of Gran Colombia.
The central district of the Gran Colombia, known as Cundinamarca or New Granada, modern Colombia, with its capital in Bogotá, did not recognize the separation of the southern district of the Gran Colombia, with its capital in Quito, from the Gran Colombian Federation on May 13, 1830. After Ecuador's separation, the Department of Cauca voluntarily decided to unite itself with Ecuador due to instability in the central government of Bogotá. President Juan José Flores, with the approval of the Ecuadorian Congress, annexed the Department of Cauca on December 20, 1830. Since the government of Cauca had called for union with the District of the South as far back as April 1830. Moreover, the Cauca region throughout its long history had very strong economic and cultural ties with the people of Ecuador. Also, the Cauca region, which included such cities as Pasto, Popayan, and Buenaventura, had always been dependent on the Presidencia or Audiencia of Quito. Fruitless negotiations continued between the governments of Bogotá and Quito, where the government of Bogotá did not recognize the separation of Ecuador or that of Cauca from the Gran Colombia until war broke out in May 1832. In 5 months, New Granada defeated Ecuador due to the fact that the majority of the Ecuadorian armed forces were composed of rebellious, angry, unpaid veterans from Venezuela and Colombia that did not want to fight against their fellow countrymen. Seeing that his officers were rebelling, mutinying, and changing sides, President Flores had no option but to reluctantly make peace with New Granada. The Treaty of Pasto of 1832 was signed, by which the Department of Cauca was turned over to New Granada, modern Colombia. The government of Bogotá recognized Ecuador as an independent country, and the border was to follow the Ley de División Territorial de la República de Colombia, law of the division of territory of the Gran Colombia, passed on June 25, 1824. This law set the border at the River Cauca and the eastern border that stretched to Brazil at the Cauca River. Later, Ecuador contended that the Republic of Colombia, while reorganizing its government, unlawfully made its eastern border provisional, and that Colombia extended its claims south to the Napo River because it said that the government of Popayan extended its control all the way to the Napo River.
Struggle for possession of the Amazon basin.
When Ecuador seceded from the Gran Colombia, Peru decided not to follow the Treaty of Guayaquil of 1829 or the protocolled agreements made. Peru contested Ecuador's claims with the newly discovered Real Cedula of 1802. By which Peru claims the King of Spain had transferred these lands from the Viceroyalty of New Granada to the Viceroyalty of Peru. During colonial times, this was to halt the ever-expanding Portuguese settlements into Spanish domains, which were left vacant and in disorder after the expulsion of Jesuit missionaries from their bases along the Amazon basin. Ecuador countered by labeling the Cedula of 1802 an ecclesiastical instrument, which had nothing to do with political borders. Peru began its de facto occupation of disputed Amazonian territories, after it signed a secret 1851 peace treaty in favor of Brazil. This treaty disregarded Spanish rights that were confirmed during colonial times by a Spanish-Portuguese treaty over the Amazon regarding territories held by illegal Portuguese settlers. Peru began occupying the defenseless missionary villages in the Manas or Manas region, which it began calling Loito, with its capital in Iquitos. During its negotiations with Brazil, Peru stated that based on the Royal Cedula of 1802, it claimed Amazonian basin territories up to Cauca River in the north and toward the Andes mountain range. depriving Ecuador and Colombia of all their claims to the Amazon basin. Colombia protested, stating that its claims extended south toward the Napo and Amazon rivers. Ecuador protested that it claimed the Amazon basin between the Caca River and the Marañón Amazon River. Peru ignored these protests and created the Department of Loreto in 1853 with its capital in Iquitos, which it had recently invaded, and systematically began to occupy using the river systems in all the territories claimed by both Colombia and Ecuador. Peru briefly occupied Guayaquil again in 1860, since Peru thought that Ecuador was selling some of the disputed land for development to British bondholders, but returned Guayaquil after a few months. The border dispute was then submitted to Spain for arbitration from 1880 to 1910, but to no avail. In the early part of the 20th century, Ecuador made an effort to peacefully define its eastern Amazonian borders with its neighbors through negotiation. On May 6, 1904, Ecuador signed the Tabarrio Branco Treaty, recognizing Brazil's claims to the Amazon in recognition of Ecuador's claim to be an Amazonian country, to counter Peru's earlier treaty with Brazil back in October 23, 1851. Then, after a few meetings with the Colombian government's representatives, an agreement was reached and the Muñoz-Vélez Treaty was signed July 15, 1916. In which Colombian rights to the Putumayo River were recognized, as well as Ecuador's rights to the Napo River, and the new border was a line that ran midpoint between those two rivers. In this way, Ecuador gave up the claims it had to the Amazonian territories between the Caca River and Napo River to Colombia, thus cutting itself off from Brazil. Later, a brief war erupted between Colombia and Peru over Peru's claims to the Caca region, which ended with the Peru reluctantly signing the Salomon-Lozano Treaty on March 24, 1922. Ecuador protested this secret treaty, since Colombia gave away Ecuadorian claimed land to Peru that Ecuador had given to Colombia in 1916. In July 21, 1924, the Ponce Castro-Oingran Protocol was signed between Ecuador and Peru, where both agreed to hold direct negotiations and to resolve the dispute in an equitable manner, and to submit the differing points of the dispute to the United States for arbitration. Negotiations between the Ecuadorian and Peruvian representatives began in Washington on September 30, 1935. These negotiations were long and tiresome. Both sides logically presented their cases, but no one seemed to give up their claims. Then on February 6, 1937, Ecuador presented a transactional line which Peru rejected the next day. The negotiations turned into intense arguments during the next 7 months, and finally on September 29, 1937, the Peruvian representatives decided to break off the negotiations without submitting the dispute to arbitration, because the direct negotiations were going nowhere. 4 years later, in 1941, amid fast-growing tensions within disputed territories around the Zarumilla River, war broke out with Peru. Peru claimed that Ecuador's military presence in Peruvian claimed territory was an invasion. Ecuador, for its part, claimed that Peru had recently invaded Ecuador around the Zarumilla River, and that Peru, since Ecuador's independence from Spain, has systematically occupied Tumbes, and most of the disputed territories in the Amazonian basin between the Putumayo and Marañón rivers. In July 1941, troops were mobilized in both countries. Peru had an army of 11,681 troops who faced a poorly supplied and inadequately armed Ecuadorian force of 2,300, of which only 1,300 were deployed in the southern provinces. Hostilities erupted on July 5, 1941. When Peruvian forces crossed the Zarumilla River at several locations, testing the strength and resolve of the Ecuadorian border troops. Finally, on July 23, 1941, the Peruvians launched a major invasion, crossing the Zarumilla River in force and advancing into the Ecuadorian province of Elo. During the course of the Ecuadorian-Peruvian War, Peru gained control over part of the disputed territory and some parts of the province of Vela, and some parts of the province of Loja, demanding that the Ecuadorian government give up its territorial claims. The Peruvian navy blocked the port of Guayaquil, almost cutting all supplies to the Ecuadorian troops. After a few weeks of war and under pressure by the United States and several Latin American nations, all fighting came to a stop. Ecuador and Peru came to an accord formalized in the Rio Protocol, signed on January 29, 1942, in favor of hemispheric unity against the Axis powers in World War II, favoring Peru with the territory they occupied at the time the war came to an end. The 1944 Glorious May Revolution followed a military-civilian rebellion and a subsequent civic strike which successfully removed Carlos Arroyo del Rio as a dictator from Ecuador's government. However, a post-Second World War recession and popular unrest led to a return to populist politics and domestic military interventions in the 1960s, while foreign companies developed oil resources in the Ecuadorian Amazon. In 1972, construction of the Andean Pipeline was completed. The pipeline brought oil from the east side of the Andes to the coast, making Ecuador South America's second-largest oil exporter. The pipeline in southern Ecuador did nothing to resolve tensions between Ecuador and Peru. However, the Rio Protocol failed to precisely resolve the border along a little river in the remote Cordillera del Condor region in southern Ecuador. This caused a long simmering dispute between Ecuador and Peru, which ultimately led to fighting between the two countries, first a border skirmish in January to February 1981 known as the Pacuisha Incident, and ultimately full-scale warfare in January 1995 where the Ecuadorian military shot down Peruvian aircraft and helicopters and Peruvian infantry marched into southern Ecuador. Each country blamed the other for the onset of hostilities, known as the Cenipa War. Sixto Duran Ballon, the Ecuadorian president, famously declared that he would not give up a single centimeter of Ecuador. Popular sentiment in Ecuador became strongly nationalistic against Peru. Graffiti could be seen on the walls of Quito referring to Peru as the Cain de Latinoamerica, a reference to the murder of Abel by his brother Cain in the Book of Genesis. Ecuador and Peru signed the Brasilia Presidential Act peace agreement on October 26, 1998, which ended hostilities and effectively put an end to the Western Hemisphere's longest-running territorial dispute. The guarantors of the Rio Protocol, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and the United States of America, ruled that the border of the underlimited zone was to be set at the line of the Cordillera del Condor, while Ecuador had to give up its decades-old territorial claims to the eastern slopes of the Cordillera, as well as to the entire western area of Cenipa headwaters. Peru was compelled to give to Ecuador, in perpetual lease but without sovereignty, of its territory, in the area where the Ecuadorian base of Taiwinza, focal point of the war, had been located within Peruvian soil and which the Ecuadorian army held during the conflict. The final border demarcation came into effect on May 13, 1999, and the multinational MOMEP military observer mission for Ecuador and Peru troop deployment withdrew on June 17, 1999. In December 2008, President Correa declared Ecuador's national debt illegitimate, based on the argument that it was odious debt contracted by corrupt and despotic prior regimes. He announced that the country would default on over $3 billion worth of bonds. He then pledged to fight creditors in international courts and succeeded in reducing the price of outstanding bonds by more than 60%. He brought Ecuador into the Bolivarian Alliance for the Americas in June 2009. To date, Correa's administration has succeeded in reducing the high levels of poverty and unemployment in Ecuador. After being elected in 2017, President Lenin Moreno's government adopted a conservative policy, reduction of public spending, trade liberalization, flexibility of the labor code, etc. He also left the left-wing Bolivarian Alliance for the Americas in August 2018. The Productive Development Act enshrines an austerity policy, and reduces the development and redistribution policies of the previous mandate. In the area of taxes, the authorities aim to encourage the return of investors by granting amnesty to fraudsters and proposing measures to reduce tax rates for large companies. In addition, the government waives the right to tax increases in raw material prices and foreign exchange repatriations.
Government and politics.
The Ecuadorian state consists of 5 branches of government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, the electoral branch, and transparency and social control. Ecuador is governed by a democratically elected president, for a 4-year term. The current president of Ecuador, Lenin Moreno, exercises his power from the presidential Palacio de Carondelet in Quito. The current constitution was written by the Ecuadorian Constituent Assembly elected in 2007, and was approved by referendum in 2008. Since 1936, voting is compulsory for all literate persons aged 18 to 65, optional for all other citizens. The executive branch includes 23 ministries. Provincial governors and councillors, mayors, aldermen, and parish boards are directly elected. The National Assembly of Ecuador meets throughout the year except for recesses in July and December. There are 13 permanent committees. Members of the National Court of Justice are appointed by the National Judicial Council for 9-year terms.
Executive branch.
The executive branch is led by the President, an office currently held by Lenin Moreno. He is accompanied by the Vice President, currently Otto Sonnenhülsner, elected for 4 years with the ability to be re-elected only once. As head of state and chief government official, he is responsible for public administration including the appointing of national coordinators, ministers, ministers of state and public servants. The executive branch defines foreign policy, appoints the Chancellor of the Republic, as well as ambassadors and consuls, being the ultimate authority over the armed forces of Ecuador, National Police of Ecuador, and appointing authorities. The acting president's wife receives the title of First Lady of Ecuador.
Legislative branch.
The legislative branch is embodied by the National Assembly, which is headquartered in the city of Quito in the Legislative Palace, and consists of 137 assemblymen, divided into 10 committees and elected for a 4-year term. 15 National Constituency elected assembly, 2 assembly members elected from each province and 1 for every 100,000 inhabitants or fraction exceeding 150,000, according to the latest national population census. In addition, statute determines the election of Assembly of Regions, and metropolitan districts.
Judicial branch.
Ecuador's judiciary has as its main body the Judicial Council, and also includes the National Court of Justice, provincial courts, and lower courts. Legal representation is made by the Judicial Council. The National Court of Justice is composed of 21 judges elected for a term of 9 years. Judges are renewed by thirds every 3 years pursuant to the Judicial Code. These are elected by the Judicial Council on the basis of opposition proceedings and merits. The justice system is buttressed by the independent offices of public prosecutor and the public defender. Auxiliary organs are as follows: notaries, court auctioneers, and court receivers. Also there is a special legal regime for Amerindians.
Electoral branch.
The electoral system functions by authorities which enter only every 4 years or when elections or referendums occur. Its main functions are to organize, control elections, and punish the infringement of electoral rules. Its main body is the National Electoral Council, which is based in the city of Quito, and consists of 7 members of the political parties most voted, enjoying complete financial and administrative autonomy. This body, along with the Electoral Court, forms the electoral branch, which is one of Ecuador's 5 branches of government.
Transparency and social control branch.
The Transparency and Social Control consists of the Council of Citizen Participation and Social Control, an ombudsman, the Controller General of the state, and the superintendents. Branch members hold office for 5 years. This branch is responsible for promoting transparency and control plans publicly, as well as plans to design mechanisms to combat corruption, as also designate certain authorities, and be the regulatory mechanism of accountability in the country.
Human rights.
UN's Human Rights Council's HRC Universal Periodic Review UPR has treated the restrictions on freedom of expression and efforts to control NGOs and recommended that Ecuador should stop the criminal sanctions for the expression of opinions, and delay in implementing judicial reforms. Ecuador rejected the recommendation on decriminalization of libel. According to Human Rights Watch HRW, President Correa has intimidated journalists and subjected them to public denunciation and retaliatory litigation. The sentences to journalists have been years of imprisonment and millions of dollars of compensation, even though defendants have been pardoned. According to HRW, Correa's government has weakened the freedom of press and independence of the judicial system. In Ecuador's current judicial system, judges are selected in a contest of merits, rather than government appointments. However, the process of selection has been criticized as biased and subjective. In particular, the final interview is said to be given excessive weighing. Judges and prosecutors that have made decisions in favor of Correa in his lawsuits have received permanent posts, while others with better assessment grades have been rejected. The laws also forbid articles and media messages that could favor or disfavor some political message or candidate. In the first half of 2012, 20 private TV or radio stations were closed down. In 2018, the ministry presented a new Human Mobility National Plan, based on policies aimed at promoting universal citizenship and free mobility in the international sphere, generate conditions to promote an orderly and safe migration, strengthen the protection of the rights of this population and defend its diversity, integration, and coexistence. The International Organization for Migration lauds Ecuador as the first state to have established the promotion of the concept of universal citizenship in its constitution, aiming to promote the universal recognition and protection of the human rights of migrants.
Administrative divisions.
Ecuador is divided into 24 provinces, each with its own administrative capital. The provinces are divided into cantons and further subdivided into parishes, parroquias.
Regions and planning areas.
Regionalization, or zoning, is the union of two or more adjoining provinces in order to decentralize the administrative functions of the capital Quito. In Ecuador there are 7 regions or zones, each shaped by the following provinces: Region 1 42,126 kilometers 2, or 16,265 miles 2, Esmeraldas, Caqui, Imbabura, and Sucumbíos. Administrative city, Ibarra. Region 2 43,498 kilometers 2, or 16,795 miles 2, Pichincha, Napo, and Orellana. Administrative city, Tena. Region 3 44,710 kilometers 2, or 17,263 miles 2, Chimborazo, Tungurahua, Pastaza, and Cotopaxi. Administrative city, Riobamba. Region 4 22,257 kilometers 2, or 8,594 miles 2, Manabi and Santo Domingo de los Sachuelos. Administrative city, Ciudad Alfaro. Region 5 38,420 kilometers 2, or 14,834 miles 2, Santa Elena, Guayas, Los Rios, Galapagos, and Bolivar. Administrative city, Milagro. Region 6 38,237 kilometers 2, or 14,763 miles 2, Cana, Azuay, and Morona Santiago. Administrative city, Cuenca. Region 7 27,571 kilometers 2, or 10,645 miles 2, Ela, Loja, and Zamora Chinchipe. Administrative city, Loja. Quito and Guayaquil are metropolitan districts. Galapagos, despite being included within Region 5, is also under a special unit.
Military.
The Ecuadorian Armed Forces Fuerzas Armadas del Ecuador consists of the Army, Air Force, and Navy and have the stated responsibility for the preservation of the integrity and national sovereignty of the national territory. The military tradition starts in Gran Colombia, where a sizable army was stationed in Ecuador due to border disputes with Peru, which claimed territories under its political control when it was a Spanish viceroyalty. Once Gran Colombia was dissolved after the death of Simon Bolivar in 1830, Ecuador inherited the same border disputes and had the need of creating its own professional military force. So influential was the military in Ecuador in the early Republican period that its first decade was under the control of General Juan José Flores, first president of Ecuador of Venezuelan origin. General José Martí Urbina and General Robles are examples of military figures who became presidents of the country in the early Republican period. Due to the continuous border disputes with Peru, finally settled in the early 2000s, and due to the ongoing problem with the Colombian guerrilla insurgency infiltrating Amazonian provinces, the Ecuadorian armed forces has gone through a series of changes. In 2009, the new administration at the Defense Ministry launched a deep restructuring within the forces, increasing spending budget to $1,691,776,803, an increase of 25%. The icons of the Ecuadorian military forces are Marshal Antonio José de Sucre and General Eloy Alfaro. The Military Academy General Eloy Alfaro c. 1838 graduates the army officers and is located in Quito. The Ecuadorian Navy Academy c. 1837, located in Salinas, graduates the Navy officers, and the Air Academy Cozumel c. 1920, also located in Salinas, graduates the Air Force officers. Other training academies for different military specialties are found across the country.
Geography.
Ecuador has a total area of, including the Galapagos Islands. Of this, is land and water. The country has four main geographic regions: La Costa, or the coast. The coastal region consists of the provinces to the west of the Andean range: Esmeraldas, Guayas, Los Rios, Manabí, Ela, Santa Elena. It is the country's most fertile and productive land, and is the seat of the large banana exportation plantations of the companies Dole and Chiquita. This region is also where most of Ecuador's rice crop is grown. The truly coastal provinces have active fisheries. The largest coastal city is Guayaquil. La Sierra, or the Highlands. The Sierra consists of the Andean and Interandean highland provinces, Azuay, Cana, Caqui, Chimborazo, Imbabura, Loja, Pichincha, and Tungurahua. This land contains most of Ecuador's volcanoes and all of its snow-capped peaks. Agriculture is focused on the traditional crops of potato, maize, and quinoa, and the population is predominantly Amerindian Kikua. The largest Sierran city is Quito. La Amazonia, also known as El Oriente, or the East. The Oriente consists of the Amazon jungle provinces, Morona, Santiago, Napo, or Elana, Pastaza, Sucumbíos, and Zamora Chinchipe. This region is primarily made up of the huge Amazon national parks and Amerindian untouchable zones, which are vast stretches of land set aside for the Amazon Amerindian tribes to continue living traditionally. It is also the area with the largest reserves of petroleum in Ecuador, and parts of the upper Amazon here have been extensively exploited by petroleum companies. The population is primarily mixed Amerindian Shuar, Guarani and Kikua, although there are numerous tribes in the deep jungle which are little contacted. The largest city in the Oriente is probably Lago Agrio in Sucumbíos, although Moca in Morona Santiago runs a close second. La Region Insular is the region comprising the Galapagos Islands, some west of the mainland in the Pacific Ocean. Ecuador's capital is Quito, which is in the province of Pichincha in the Sierra region. Its largest city is Guayaquil, in the Guayas province. Cotopaxi, just south of Quito, is one of the world's highest active volcanoes. The top of Mount Chimborazo 6,268 meters, or 20,560 feet, above sea level, Ecuador's tallest mountain, is the most distant point from the center of the Earth on the Earth's surface because of the ellipsoid shape of the planet.
Climate.
There is great variety in the climate, largely determined by altitude. It is mild year-round in the mountain valleys, with a humid subtropical climate in coastal areas and rainforest in lowlands. The Pacific coastal area has a tropical climate with a severe rainy season. The climate in the Andean highlands is temperate and relatively dry, and the Amazon basin on the eastern side of the mountains shares the climate of other rainforest zones. Because of its location at the equator, Ecuador experiences little variation in daylight hours during the course of a year. Both sunrise and sunset occur each day at the 2-6 o'clock hours. Ecuador has 1,600 bird species, 15% of the world's known bird species in the continental area, and 38 more endemic in the Galapagos. In addition to over 16,000 species of plants, the country has 106 endemic reptiles, 138 endemic amphibians, and 6,000 species of butterfly. The Galapagos Islands are well known as a region of distinct fauna, famous as the place of birth of Darwin's theory of evolution and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ecuador has the first constitution to recognize the rights of nature. The protection of the nation's biodiversity is an explicit national priority as stated in the National Plan of Buen Vivir, or Good Living. Objective 4, Guarantee the rights of nature. Policy 1, Sustainably conserve and manage the natural heritage, including its land and marine biodiversity, which is considered a strategic sector. A program begun in 2008, Sociobusk, is preserving another 2.3% of total land area, 6,295 kilometers or 629,500 hectares, by paying private landowners or community landowners such as Amerindian tribes incentives to maintain their land as native ecosystems such as native forests or grasslands. Eligibility and subsidy rates for this program are determined based on the poverty in the region, the number of hectares that will be protected, and the type of ecosystem of the land to be protected, among other factors. Despite being on the UNESCO list, the Galapagos are endangered by a range of negative environmental effects, threatening the existence of this exotic ecosystem. Additionally, oil exploitation of the Amazon rainforest has led to the release of billions of gallons of untreated wastes, gas, and crude oil into the environment, contaminating ecosystems and causing detrimental health effects to Amerindian peoples.
Economy.
Ecuador has a developing economy that is highly dependent on commodities, namely petroleum and agricultural products. The country is classified as an upper-middle-income country. Ecuador's economy is the 8th largest in Latin America and experienced an average growth of 4.6% between 2000 and 2006. From 2007 to 2012, Ecuador's GDP grew at an annual average of 4.3%, above the average for Latin America and the Caribbean, which was 3.5%, according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin American and the Caribbean (ECLAC). Ecuador was able to maintain relatively superior growth during the crisis. In January 2009, the Central Bank of Ecuador (BCE) put the 2010 growth forecast at 6.88%. In 2011, its GDP grew at 8% and ranked third highest in Latin America, behind Argentina second and Panama first. Between 1999 and 2007, GDP doubled, reaching $65,490 million according to BCE. Inflation rate up to January 2008 was located about 1.14%, the highest recorded in the last year. According to the government, the monthly unemployment rate remained at about 6 and 8% from December 2007 until September 2008. However, it went up to about 9% in October and dropped again in November 2008 to 8%. Unemployment mean annual rate for 2009 in Ecuador was 8.5% because the global economic crisis continued to affect the Latin American economies. From this point, unemployment rates started a downward trend: 7.6% in 2010, 6.0% in 2011, and 4.8% in 2012. The extreme poverty rate has declined significantly between 1999 and 2010. In 2001 it was estimated at 40% of the population, while by 2011 the figure dropped to 17%. 4% of the total population. This is explained to an extent by emigration and the economic stability achieved after adopting the U.S. dollar as official means of transaction. Prior to 2000, the Ecuadorian sucre was prone to rampant inflation. However, starting in 2008 with the bad economic performance of the nations where most Ecuadorian emigrants work, the reduction of poverty has been realized through social spending mainly in education and health. Oil accounts for 40% of exports and contributes to maintaining a positive trade balance. Since the late 1960s, the exploitation of oil increased production, and proven reserves are estimated at 6.51 billion barrels. The overall trade balance for August 2012 was a surplus of almost $390 million for the first 6 months of 2012, a huge figure compared with that of 2007, which reached only $5.7 million. The surplus had risen by about $425 million compared to 2006. In the agricultural sector, Ecuador is a major exporter of bananas, first place worldwide in production and export, flowers, and the 7th largest producer of cocoa. Ecuador also produces coffee, rice, potatoes, cassava, manioc, tapioca, plantains and sugarcane, cattle, sheep, pigs, beef, pork and dairy products, fish, and shrimp, and balsa wood. The country's vast resources include large amounts of timber across the country, like eucalyptus and mangroves. Pines and cedars are planted in the region of La Sierra and walnuts, rosemary, and balsa wood in the Guayas River Basin. The industry is concentrated mainly in Guayaquil, the largest industrial center, and in Quito, where in recent years the industry has grown considerably. This city is also the largest business center of the country. Industrial production is directed primarily to the domestic market. Despite this, there is limited export of products produced or processed industrially. These include canned foods, liquor, jewelry, furniture, and more. A minor industrial activity is also concentrated in Cuenca. The incomes due to the tourism have been increasing during the last years because of the efforts of the government of showing the variety of climates and the biodiversity in Ecuador. Ecuador has negotiated bilateral treaties with other countries, besides belonging to the Andean Community of Nations, and an associate member of Mercosur. It also serves on the World Trade Organization WTO. In addition to the Inter-American Development Bank IDB, World Bank, International Monetary Fund IMF, Corporación Andina de Fomento CAF and other multilateral agencies. In April 2007, Ecuador paid off its debt to the IMF, thus ending an era of interventionism of the agency in the country. The public finance of Ecuador consists of the Central Bank of Ecuador BCE, the National Development Bank BNF, the State Bank.
Tourism.
The Ministry of Information and Tourism was created on August 10, 1992, at the beginning of the government of Sixto Durán Ballén, who viewed tourism as a fundamental activity for the economic and social development of the peoples. Faced with the growth of the tourism sector, in June 1994, the decision was taken to separate tourism from information, so that it is exclusively dedicated to promoting and strengthening this activity. Ecuador is a country with vast natural wealth. The diversity of its 4 regions has given rise to thousands of species of flora and fauna. It has around 1,640 kinds of birds. The species of butterflies border the 4,500, the reptiles 345. The amphibians 358 and the mammals 258, among others. Not in vain, Ecuador is considered one of the 17 countries where the planet's highest biodiversity is concentrated, being also the largest country with diversity per km2 in the world. Most of its fauna and flora lives in 26 protected areas by the state. Also, it has a huge culture spectrum. Since 2007, with the government of Rafael Correa, the tourism brand Ecuador Amar La Vida has been transformed. with which the nation's tourism promotion would be sold, focused on considering it as a country friendly and respectful of the nature, natural biodiversity and cultural diversity of the peoples. And for this, means of exploiting them are developed along with the private economy. The country has 2 cities UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Quito and Cuenca, as well as 2 natural UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Galapagos Islands and Sangay National Park, in addition to 1 World Biosphere Reserve, such as the Carjas Massif. Culturally, the Toquilla Straw Hat and the culture of the Zaparo indigenous people are recognized. The most popular sites for national and foreign tourists have different nuances due to the various tourist activities offered by the country. Among the main tourist destinations are nature attractions, Galapagos Islands, Yasuni National Park, El Carjas National Park, Sangay National Park, Bodecapas National Park, Vilcabamba, Banos Agua Santa. Cultural attractions, Historic Center of Quito, Ciudad Mitad del Mundo, Ingaburka, Historic Center of Cuenca, La Tacunga and its Mama Negra Festival. Snowy Mountains, Antizana Volcano, Cayambe Volcano, Chimborazo Volcano, Cotopaxi Volcano, Iloníza's volcanoes. Beaches, Atacames, Bahía de Caracas, Crucita, Esmeraldas, Manta, Montanita, Playas, Salinas.
Transport.
The rehabilitation and reopening of the Ecuadorian Railroad and use of it as a tourist attraction is one of the recent developments in transportation matters. The roads of Ecuador in recent years have undergone important improvement. The major routes are Pan American under enhancement from 4 to 6 lanes from Rumichaca to Ambato, the conclusion of 4 lanes on the entire stretch of Ambato and Riobamba and running via Riobamba to Loja. In the absence of the section between Loja and the border with Peru, their other route is Pondilis or Ruta del Sol, oriented to travel along the Ecuadorian coastline and the Amazon backbone, which crosses from north to south along the Ecuadorian Amazon, linking most and more major cities of it. Another major project is developing the road Manta, Tena, the highway Guayaquil, Salinas Highway Alog Santo Domingo, Riobamba, Maca, which crosses Sangay National Park. Other new developments include the National Unity Bridge Complex in Guayaquil, the bridge over the Napo River in Francisco de Orellana, the Esmeraldas River Bridge in the city of the same name, and, perhaps the most remarkable of all, the Bahia San Vicente Bridge, being the largest on the Latin American Pacific coast. Cuenca's tramway is the largest public transport system in the city and the first modern tramway in Ecuador. It was inaugurated on March 8, 2019. It has 24 kilometers and 27 stations. It will transport 120,000 passengers daily. Its route starts in the south of Cuenca and ends in the north at the Park Industrial neighborhood. The Mariscal Sucre International Airport in Quito and the José Joaquín de Olmedo International Airport in Guayaquil have experienced a high increase in demand and have required modernization. In the case of Guayaquil, it involved a new air terminal, once considered the best in South America and the best in Latin America, and in Quito, where an entire new airport has been built in Tababla and was inaugurated in February 2013, with Canadian assistance. However, the main road leading from Quito city center to the new airport will only be finished in late 2014. Making current traveling from the airport to downtown Quito as long as 2 hours during rush hour. Quito's old city center airport is being turned into parkland, with some light industrial use.
Demographics.
Ecuador's population is ethnically diverse, and the estimates put Ecuador's population at the largest ethnic group is the Mestizos, who are the descendants of Spanish colonists that interbred with Amerindian peoples, and constitute about 71% of the population. The white Ecuadorians, white Latin American, account for 6.1% of the population of Ecuador and can be found throughout all of Ecuador, primarily around the urban areas. Even though Ecuador's white population during its colonial era were mainly descendants from Spain, today Ecuador's white population is a result of a mixture of European immigrants, predominantly from Spain, with people from Italy, Germany, France, and Switzerland who have settled in the early 20th century. Ecuador also has people of Middle Eastern extraction that have also joined the ranks of the white minority. These include economically well-off immigrants of Lebanese and Palestinian descent, who are either Christian or Muslim Islam in Ecuador. In addition, there is a small European Jewish Ecuadorian Jews population, which is based mainly in Quito and to a lesser extent in Guayaquil. Amerindians account for 7% of the current population. The mostly rural Montubio population of the coastal provinces of Ecuador, who might be classified as Pardo, account for 7.4% of the population. The Afro-Ecuadorians is a minority population, 7% in Ecuador, that includes the mulattoes and Zambos, and are largely based in the Esmeraldas province and to a lesser degree in the predominantly mestizo provinces of coastal Ecuador, Guayas and Manabí. In the highland Andes, where a predominantly mestizo, white and Amerindian population exist, the African presence is almost non-existent except for a small community in the province of Imbabura called Chota Valley.
Religion.
According to the Ecuadorian National Institute of Statistics and Census, 95% of the country's population have a religion, 94% are atheists and 11% are agnostics. Among the people that have a religion, 44% are Roman Catholic. Latin Rite. See List of Roman Catholic dioceses in Ecuador. 30% are Evangelical Protestants. 29% are Jehovah's Witnesses and 97% are the mainly Jewish, Buddhists and Latter-day Saints. In the rural parts of Ecuador, Amerindian beliefs and Catholicism are sometimes syncretized. Most festivals and annual parades are based on religious celebrations, many incorporating a mixture of rites and icons. There is a small number of Eastern Orthodox Christians, Amerindian religions, Muslims see Islam in Ecuador, Buddhists and Baha'i. According to their own estimates, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints accounts for about 1.4% of the population, or 211,165 members at the end of 2012. According to their own sources, in 2017 there were 92,752 Jehovah's Witnesses in the country. The first Jews arrived in Ecuador in the 16th and 17th centuries. Most of them are Sephardicanos and crypto-Jews, and many still speak Judeo-Spanish Ladino language. Today the Jewish community of Ecuador, Comunidad Judía del Ecuador, has its seat in Quito and has approximately 200 members. Nevertheless, this number is declining because young people leave the country for the United States or Israel. The community has a Jewish center with a synagogue, a country club, and a cemetery. It supports the Albert Einstein School, where Jewish history, religion, and Hebrew classes are offered. There are very small communities in Cuenca. The Comunidad de Culto Israelita reunites the Jews of Iglesia de San Sebastián Church in Cuenca, Iglesia de San Francisco, Quito. 01.